Business Bureau, the Downtown Women's Center, and the Amarillo Police Department are warning consumers about a scam involving door-to-door magazine sales. Individuals are going door-to-door selling magazine subscriptions, claiming their sales will go towards points to get out of Gratitude House. Today we're joined by John Akil from the Better Business Bureau, along with Corporal Jeb Hilton, to tell us more about this scam. So y'all, this isn't really unusual, right?
It's really not unusual. You know, we hear this every summer. We always see consumers that call and say, well, these people are at our door with the door-to-door permit. We don't know if it's real, or we don't know, maybe they don't have a permit. So it's not unusual, and it's really, unfortunately, it's also very common that they pretend to represent a nonprofit organization in town, and that's what's happening with this story.
Right, so they're pretending to represent Gratitude House, right? So let's talk about what Gratitude House actually is.
So this is a house with Downtown Women's Center. I'm not sure the details about the house and what you need to do to get in, but Downtown Women's Center has told us that the way that someone gets out is not by gaining points, you know, going door to door trying to sell magazines to gain points.
So, Corporal Hilton, there is a permit that people need, right, to sell door-to-door?
Yes, ma'am. We do have a door-to-door sales permit that we hand out at the police department. Anybody can come in. You have to bring a valid ID. We will check your background. We'll make sure you're not a sex offender. We'll make sure you don't have any warrants, and then we'll let you go, and you can go door-to-door and sell. The main thing we want to stress to people is that just because you get a permit doesn't mean you're a legitimate business. We do not check that. We just make sure they do not have warrants and that they're not a sex offender.
Right. So if someone does come door-to-door to their home, what should someone do?
So that's where we come in. We work very closely with local law enforcement, of course including the Amarillo Police Department, and other communities as well. And we're going to ask these businesses to register with the BBB. There is no fee to register, and it doesn't mean that we are endorsing the company in any way. We're just trying to gather information to build a file so that when consumers want to know about the company, someone is knocking at the door, then we can let them know where they're from and what they're doing and how they're selling. In this particular case, Downtown Women's Center had said that they don't do this, like I mentioned. You know, they don't have anyone going door to door selling magazines. And so you always want to ask those questions at the door from those people that are knocking, and make sure that they leave you with some materials to make a buying decision later when you're ready.
So this isn't the only scam that we've heard about, of course. So what are some other scams that people should look out for?
Well, definitely they should look out, of course, for anybody going door to door. A lot of times after a storm, there's also companies that come to town, and a lot of those companies are real. They do exist in other communities, but when they come here, they, of course, have to abide by the rules and the laws here in our community. So we are the ones that check that out as well. And so you don't want to be scammed by companies who ask for money up front, especially if they haven't done any work yet.
So do we have any idea how many of these magazine scams has hit Amarillo yet?
Oh, gosh, there's not really a number that we keep up with. We get phone calls daily.
Right.
Several times a day I get phone calls saying somebody's at my door trying to sell this, or do you know about this scam going on? And sometimes I haven't heard of them yet. We get new stuff all the time. What we've learned is that if there's something out there, there's a scam for that also. So always beware.
Absolutely. And you know, when the women and men at the house, and you know, young people that stay home, anybody who's home answering the door, they can definitely report those types of situations to the Amarillo Police Department and the BBB. And we can investigate, look further into it, and make sure the company is registered and make sure they do have that permit.
Okay, so Corporal Hilton, if we need to contact the police department, what's the best way to do that for y'all?
You can call 378-3038 at the non-emergency line, or 911 if it's an emergency. Okay. Some of these people do get really pushy. They try to get into your door. And if that's happening, we want you to call the emergency line.
Right.
Make sure, you know, don't let them in. Don't let anybody you don't know into your house. Absolutely. Ask them for their permit. Ask them what their business is, and do some research before you're making a decision on the split second.
And Jonna, of course, we can call the BBB and go online, of course.
BBB.org/Amarillo or 379-6222. We also have our Scam Tracker, which you can reach through our website, and we do want those scams reported on Scam Tracker so that law enforcement and media and other consumers can be aware and know what's happening in our community.
Okay, well, thank you both so much for this info, of course, and Corporal Hilton, thank you for all you do for our community. Okay, so stay tuned. If you're a fan of dancing,